In the late afternoon games on Sunday in Week 13, we had lots of big playoff implicating games in the AFC, starting with the Denver Broncos. With a 31-23 win over the Buccaneers, Denver clinches the AFC West, and the Buccaneers' loss actually clinched the NFC South for the Falcons. But let's stick on the Broncos. It's one of the hottest teams in the league over the past month and a half. Continue to win games. Peyton Manning, a slow first half, but really turn it on in the second half. And that defense, when they have a lead, very difficult for opponents to score points on them.
It allows them to attack opposing quarterbacks. You saw Von Miller with the pick six, and he's such a dangerous two-way player now. We think of him as a pass rush player, but he's improved his game against the run. He can drop back into coverage, and obviously can run pretty well. He got that interception return, and that for me was sort of the turning point. Buccaneers made it interesting at the end. They're a plucky team. Heck, went down to the final snap again. Yet another Manning at quarterback, yet another kneel-down situation. Greg Schiano, you know you're going to get buzzer to buzzer with him, but they're kind of in a tough situation now. The Broncos, obviously in the driver's seat in the AFC West, they've got that thing clinched. Now just jockeying for position in the AFC field.
Yeah, Greg Schiano doesn't have to worry about people turning away from games when it comes down to a kneel-down situation. Everybody wants to see what's going to happen. So the Broncos joined the Texans, who clinched a playoff berth earlier in the day, and the Patriots, who clinched the AFC East. But the Baltimore Ravens had a chance, and they did not come through. They lose to Steelers, and Charlie Batch, who turns 38 this week, 23-20 on a late field goal by Sean Sweezum. You look at Baltimore, I mean, how much concern is there for the Ravens? This is a brutal loss for them.
Coming into this game, we kind of talked about them as a surprising 9-2, and a team that maybe was going to sneak under the radar, as much publicity as they normally get, and considering the record. But now, this kind of brings them back to the level a lot of people said they were at, in the sense that they weren't winning games impressively. They had opportunities to win this one. And the fact that Batch, 38 years old, in possibly his final NFL game or final NFL start, outplayed Joe Flacco in this game. I think that's a big deal. The Kruger penalty was huge. Obviously, John Harbaugh with a faulty challenge in the third quarter. You can look back at some of the turning points of the game. But the fact is, there was better quarterback play on the Steelers side than the Ravens, and that just can't happen with a healthy quarterback in Joe Flacco.
It was a big win for the Steelers to get to 7-5. The Ravens now 9-3, tie with the Patriots and Broncos. So those three teams battling to try to get that second bye. Houston Texans at 11-1. Staying in the AFC North, the Bengals stay alive in this wildcard hunt. They rally, come back, beat the Chargers 20-13. Andy Dalton with the big touchdown run late to give them the lead. You look at Cincinnati and Pittsburgh now, tied at 7-5, one game back of the Colts. Makes that Colts win so big for Indianapolis. They're 8-4. I mean, this is going to be a battle between Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, but the Bengals avoided would have been not a great loss against a Chargers team that continues to be reeling.
Always tough to go out there. They do have firepower. They've been okay in first halves, but if you watched that game and didn't look at the scoreboard, you would have thut the Chargers should have been up more than the handful of points they were early in the game. They had the momentum. They were outplaying the Bengals, snap for snap. And yet the Bengals hung close. It was probably a lot farther apart than the score indicated, but they fought back, and that's the kind of team they've been. They've been resilient. They had a losing streak early in the season. We've gone long past that. They're a pretty good football team right now, defensively, offensively. But what's happened to Philip Rivers? I mean, we're at the point now where we have to ask ourselves, is he in the future of the Chargers? So much at stake, head coach, GM, we don't know who's going to be back. But Rivers, you almost have to add him to that list, too, of the people who might not be back in San Diego at some point.
You look at San Diego, how many close losses they've had this year, and he had 2 more fourth-quarter turnovers today. Just a brutal season for the San Diego Chargers. But the Bengals stay in the AFC playoff hunt. It's going to be really exciting down the stretch to see which of these teams get the byes and which teams end up making the playoffs. To see our early game snap judgments, be sure to head to our YouTube channel and head to our website at ProFootballWeekly.com.